The story begins in 1835, when Charles Darwin set foot on the Galápagos Islands, a living laboratory in the heart of the Pacific Ocean. Charcoal black volcanoes, parched landscapes dotted with unusual vegetation, and countless creatures unlike anything found elsewhere on Earth. On Española Island, the marine iguanas bask on sun-scorched rocks, looking like little black dragons from a prehistoric tale, and tiny finches forage with beaks of all shapes, some even pecking at the skin of seabirds for drops of nourishment. Meanwhile, on Santa Cruz Island, the Galápagos giant tortoise, weighing hundreds of kilograms, carries on its back the silhouette of an ancient era. Beneath the waves around Wolf Island, white-tip reef sharks begin their silent patrols through the coral reefs. Farther offshore, schools of scalloped hammerhead sharks circle in wide arcs, as if guided by an invisible signal. But the wonders don't end there, and Galápagos is more than just a wild paradise. It stands as living proof of how life adapts, competes, and finds a way to thrive. About 906 kilometers from mainland Ecuador, in the heart of the vast Pacific Ocean, the Galápagos Islands feel like a forgotten piece of Earth, isolated, untouched, and wonderfully strange. On the map, Galápagos consists of 13 major islands, 7 smaller ones, and more than 100 rocky islets, all together forming a landmass of around 7,880 square kilometers. Today, more than 97% of the Galápagos land area falls within the boundaries of Galápagos National Park, one of humanity's earliest efforts in conservation, established in 1959. The waters surrounding the archipelago, spanning nearly 198,000 square kilometers, are protected by the Galápagos Marine Reserve, the second largest marine sanctuary on the planet. At the intersection of 3 tectonic plates, the Nazca, Cocos, and Pacific, known as the Galápagos Triple Junction, this island chain did not rise from continental land, but emerged from the depths of the ocean, born of a volcanic hotspot that has been active for millions of years. Beneath the sea, molten lava surged upward, layering over time to form scattered islands like Isabela, Fernandina, Española, and San Cristobal. Among them, the western islands, such as Fernandina and Isabela, are still very young, only a few 100,000 years old. In contrast, the eastern islands, like Española, have existed for more than 4 million years, a testament to a long and intense geological journey. Located at the crossroads of 3 major ocean currents and entirely cut off from any continent, the Galápagos Islands are more than just a chain of volcanic formations. They are a place where life has evolved according to its own distinct rules. This prolonged isolation over millions of years, combined with unpredictable weather patterns and harsh environmental conditions, has given rise to a one-of-a-kind ecosystem, where species not only survive, but undergo remarkable transformations. The islands experience 2 main seasons, a dry season shaped by the Humboldt Current, which brings in cool Garua mist, and a warm, wetter season carried by the Panama Current from the north. Flowing between them is the Cromwell Current, rich in nutrients from the ocean's depths, sustaining the entire marine web of life. These 3 currents create complex life cycles, where every species must learn to adapt in order to thrive. On land, more than 50 bird species breed regularly across the islands, with 28 of them found nowhere else on Earth. 25 reptile species dominate here, with 19 endemic species recorded. Beneath the surface, over 2,900 marine species inhabit the waters around the islands, more than 20% of which are endemic. Though the environment may seem harsh, the living laboratory of Galapagos is home to a truly one-of-a-kind collection of wildlife. Here, most animals show no fear of humans. In fact, many are curious, often approaching people as if humanity had never disturbed the natural order. An isolated archipelago, yet it holds profound mysteries about life, evolution, and the extraordinary web that connects all living things. Española Island lies at the southeastern edge of the Galapagos and is the oldest island in the chain, estimated to be around 4 million years old. On this ancient volcanic foundation, the landscape is coated in thorny shrubs, towering cactus trees, and sun-scorched stones. Only a few inches of rain fall here each year, not enough to soften the ground, but just enough to challenge every form of life that dares to hold on. The harsh terrain may seem unforgiving, yet it has given rise to a uniquely isolated world, where scarcity itself fuels a surprisingly intricate path of evolution. On the sun-baked rocks of Española Island, the Galapagos hawk doesn't just survive, it reigns. As the top land predator in the food chain, this bird is living proof of natural selection at work in a closed and challenging world like Galapagos. Considered one of the largest hawk species in the world, the adult Galapagos hawk on Española Island has an impressive presence. Males weigh around 1.1 kilograms on average, while females can reach up to 1.5 kilograms. A notable difference that clearly reflects the distinct biological roles between the sexes. On Española Island, where the Galapagos hawk population is the densest in the archipelago, their social behavior includes a breeding system known as cooperative polyandry. In each group, a single female mates with multiple males, sometimes up to 7. What's remarkable is that all of the males accept their paternal role, taking turns defending the territory, incubating the eggs, and raising the chicks. This kind of cooperative parenting is exceptionally rare, especially among birds of prey, where typically only one male takes responsibility. By involving multiple males in raising the young, the mother increases the chances of her chick's survival while spreading out the risk. If one male is lost to illness or an accident, the others continue to fulfill the caregiving role. This behavior is a product of an environment where food supply is never certain. On the scorched cobblestones of Española Island, where the sunlight etches dark lines across the stone like fire-baked carvings, a quiet hunt is underway. Above, the Galapagos hawk glides through air that shimmers with heat. Amber eyes sweep slowly across the rocky ground, scanning for the slightest twitch in the shaded patches. Below, a young prey animal has just slipped out from a crevice, its dark grey body glinting faintly with dry salt. In a flash, the dive is silent. Wings tuck in tight, forming a sleek line slicing through the air. Sharp talons strike the iguana's back just as it reaches a patch of dried seaweed at the rock's edge. A meal it must risk everything for. The hawk's powerful legs pin down the reptile's neck. There is no need for a chase. The Galapagos hawk is an opportunist, evolved to leave nothing edible behind, from insects, snakes, and rodents to sun-dried carrion. Its dark brown feathers and sturdy build offer perfect camouflage among the rocks and low shrubs. When hunting in groups, there is no fighting. The dominant bird eats first, the others wait their turn. A silent order is maintained not by force, but by position and experience. The Galapagos hawk shows no fear of humans. Nearly 2 centuries ago, Charles Darwin recorded a strange encounter. Instead of firing his gun, he simply nudged a hawk off a branch with the barrel. This species seems never to have learned fear, as its ancestors never needed it to survive. But that familiarity is a fragile line, making them more vulnerable when human contact and invasive species increase. Across the archipelago, only about 400 to 500 adult Galapagos hawks remain. They are classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, not just due to their small numbers, but also because of their scattered populations and genetic isolation between islands. Genetic studies show that groups on different islands rarely interbreed, leading to low genetic diversity and limited adaptability if the environment suddenly shifts. This makes the conservation of each individual population more vital than ever. Still, their situation remains more stable than that of the waved albatross. Each year, 99% of all waved albatross on the planet return to just one place to breed: Española Island. A single place, a single chance, and that is exactly what puts them at risk. If anything changes on Española, the entire species could be lost. That's why the International Union for Conservation of Nature has listed them as critically endangered. The breeding journey begins with a dance, a solemn ritual that reaffirms the lifelong bonds between mating pairs. The partners face each other, twisting their heads and clacking their bright yellow beaks in a dry, distinctive rhythm. Movements like head shaking, waddling, and pointing skyward with drawn-out calls are all essential parts of this elaborate display. These gestures are repeated with machine-like precision, not only to attract a mate, but also to reaffirm their shared commitment to raising the next generation. Recent estimates suggest the global population hovers between 50,000 and 70,000 individuals, but only about 1/3 of them breed each year, making every successful season incredibly important. After the egg is laid on the bare ground, typically between late May and July, both parents take turns incubating it over the course of roughly 2 months. When the chick hatches, it enters a long dependency phase, lasting until early the following year, when it is strong enough to follow the wind out to sea. During this time, the parents alternate flying hundreds of kilometers off the coasts of Ecuador and Peru in search of food. They store it in their stomachs and return with a rich, oily substance made from marine life, a kind of ocean milk that keeps the chick alive through the dry season. With a wingspan reaching up to 2.5 meters, the waved albatross is the largest seabird in the Galapagos. Its long wings let it glide effortlessly across the ocean. They use a flying technique called dynamic soaring, riding the difference in wind speed between the sea surface and higher altitudes, allowing them to travel great distances without constant flapping. It's a survival strategy for a bird that isn't built for swimming. The waved albatross diet includes fish, squid, and crustaceans, species that rise near the surface with the currents. But at times they steal food from other seabirds like boobies. When threatened or harassed, a booby might regurgitate its freshly caught meal, offering a reward for the albatross's not-so-noble patience. This kleptoparasitic behavior helps waved albatross conserve energy when food is scarce. Though they breed in dense numbers on Española, they spend most of their lives at sea. From January through late March, they seem to vanish from the island, wandering the waters off the western coast of South America. During this period, there are no nests, no partners nearby, only ocean winds and the guiding force of instinct. Adults can live more than 40 years, and most of that time is spent in flight, as if the open ocean were their true home. Now let's set foot on the mainland of Española Island. Here lives a reptile so peculiar that Charles Darwin once called them imps of darkness. Not for their fierceness, but for their strangeness. A lizard that swims, dives, and grazes on underwater algae, thriving in a world shared with fish and coral. This is the marine iguana, the only iguana on Earth that lives in the sea. On Española's fiery black volcanic rocks, they bask like living statues, carrying both the mystery of evolution and a touch of myth, etched by the patient hand of Galapagos nature. From a distance, their dark grey skin blends seamlessly into the lava stone, but not for camouflage. It's to absorb every bit of sunlight after their ocean swims. When their bodies cool from the sea, that skin works like a solar panel, turning heat into the energy of life. Clusters of marine iguanas lie stretched out across the rocks, pressed close to one another, heads lifted like ancient carvings, waiting for warmth to revive them after a deep dive. They're found across most of the major islands in the Galápagos archipelago, especially abundant on Fernandina, Isabela, and, without exception, on Española. Current population estimates range from 200,000 to 300,000 individuals, with the highest densities reaching up to 8,000 per kilometer of shoreline in certain areas. On Española Island, where ecological conditions are more severe than on the larger islands, marine iguanas have carved out their own survival strategy. Their long, flattened claws grip tightly onto slippery rocks, anchoring them against crashing waves while they feed. Their comb-like, sharp teeth scrape algae off submerged stones, primarily red and green algae. Not all waters offer enough nutrients, but around Española, the dry land is sharply contrasted by a sea full of food. They can dive for 5 to 20 minutes at a time. The largest adults can even hold their breath for up to 45 minutes and dive deeper than 9 meters. During these dives, their heart rate slows dramatically to conserve oxygen, and blood flow is directed to vital organs only. A male weighing 1 kilogram needs just around 37 grams of seaweed per day, a remarkably efficient energy budget compared to other reptiles. Colonies of around 2,000 individuals, like the one at Punta Espinosa, consume up to 27 to 29 tons of algae annually, a vital part of the coastal biological cycle. When they return from a dive, they sneeze, not because of the cold, but to expel excess salt. Their salt glands, located in the nasal cavity, work constantly to remove the salt that builds up during underwater foraging. Across the Galapagos, each island is like an isolated evolutionary engine, shaping different versions of the same species. Marine iguanas aren't a single uniform group, but a collection of subspecies, each with traits shaped by its island home. In some places, they are as black as lava. In others, they shine gray and crusted with salt like ancient stone statues. But only Española Island is home to a subspecies so vibrant it seems almost unreal, the Christmas iguana with blazing red scales. The life of a marine iguana doesn't unfold alone. They interact regularly with small birds that perch on their backs to pick off dead skin and parasites. Even Sally Lightfoot crabs join this cleanup crew. A miniature ecosystem plays out on the back of each iguana, where symbiosis is a quiet cornerstone of survival. When young, the Sally Lightfoot crab wears a dark-toned shell, black or brown, that blends perfectly into the basalt rocks for camouflage. But as they mature, they shed that exterior to reveal a dazzling exoskeleton streaked with red, orange, blue, and yellow, colors that play a role in attracting mates during breeding season. They're not just striking to look at, they're known for their speed and agility. Their bodies move fluidly in all four directions, and under the right conditions, they can even appear to skim across the water's surface. With flat legs and sharp claws, they grip tightly to the rocks, withstanding powerful waves, an essential skill for survival along Galapagos's rugged coastal zones. Living in the intertidal zone, these crabs endure both scorching heat and limited food availability. Beyond their symbiotic relationship with the marine iguana, they are true omnivores, feeding on algae, bird droppings, dead fish, even turtle eggs, or weaker members of their own species. This varied diet allows them to thrive in harsh conditions while helping maintain the ecological balance along the rocky shorelines. Santa Cruz Island is located near the center of the Galápagos archipelago, approximately 135 kilometers northwest of Española Island. This shield-shaped volcanic island spans 986 square kilometers, marked by basaltic lava flows, shallow calderas, and barren lava fields, forming a unique foundation for life to take hold. Its ecosystems are clearly stratified by elevation and moisture levels, from dry coastal mangroves to misty highland cloud forests. Rainfall varies from 249 millimeters at lower elevations to 666 millimeters higher up, supporting a rich array of endemic biodiversity. High in the Santa Cruz highlands, where Scalesia forests rise from cold basalt rock, a giant creature moves quietly beneath the canopy, carrying on its back the weight of the Galapagos evolutionary legacy. The Galapagos giant tortoise, one of the archipelago's most iconic endemic species, is not only among the largest tortoises on Earth, but also one of the longest-lived animals, with individuals known to surpass 170 years of age. These colossal tortoises are more than just big. They hold the secrets of resilience. An adult can grow over 1.8 meters long and weigh more than 400 kilograms. In the wild, many live well beyond 100 years. In monitored environments, some have reached at least 177 years of age. Their metabolism is extraordinarily slow. Because of this, they can survive for up to a year without food or water. On Santa Cruz, they live primarily in the southwestern highlands, where annual rainfall is sufficient to support a lush understory of vegetation. This provides ideal conditions for the western Santa Cruz tortoise, one of the island's distinct subspecies, which is perfectly adapted to its environment with a rounded, domed shell. This shell shape allows them to move easily through dense, humid forest undergrowth without obstruction. In contrast, their relatives on arid islands like Española have developed saddleback-shaped shells, enabling the Hood Island giant tortoise to stretch its neck upward and reach the tender, moisture-rich pads of cactus plants. This variety in shell shape is a vivid example of adaptive radiation, one of the keys that helped Charles Darwin envision the foundations of evolutionary theory. Each Galapagos habitat serves as a natural laboratory, where the form and behavior of the giant tortoise have been finely tuned to match the landscape and available food. The Galapagos giant tortoise is not just a survivor, it's a keystone species. a quiet architect of the ecosystem. As the largest herbivore in the archipelago, it plays a vital role in seed dispersal for many native plant species. Each year, during the cooler season from June to November, the tortoises migrate from lowlands to the highlands, seeking abundant food in the misty forests. During the hot season, they return to the coast to breed, find nesting sites, and take advantage of the dry conditions. These migrations are more than seasonal movement. They're a key mechanism for redistributing nutrients and seeds across the island. Yet their endurance has been pushed to the brink. From an estimated population of over 250,000 in the 16th century, numbers plummeted to just around 3,000 individuals by the 1970s. The primary cause was hunting by European sailors and whalers, who captured thousands of tortoises for their meat and oil. In addition, invasive species like goats, rats, and pigs, brought to Santa Cruz by humans, devastated habitats and consumed tortoise eggs, severely reducing reproductive success. Not only the land-dwelling tortoises, but even the sea turtles of Galápagos now share a similar plight. As moonlight tilts gently across the still waters of Las Baches on Santa Cruz Island, a Galápagos green turtle quietly pulls itself onto the sand. It's not the tranquility that draws her in, but a deeper purpose woven into the cycle of life, to return to the place she was born and pass that life forward. With a teardrop-shaped shell shaded in charcoal gray, this unique subspecies of green turtle is smaller than its Atlantic relatives, yet perfectly adapted to the region's cool currents and tropical sun. Each breeding season, female turtles swim hundreds of kilometers to return to familiar shores like Las Baches to lay their eggs. A shell length of 64 to 93 centimeters signals maturity, a milestone that takes at least 25 years to reach. During a single season, one female may lay 3 to 5 clutches, each containing 70 to 110 eggs. The eggs rest in the sand for about 50 days, and temperature determines their sex. Warmer sand produces females, cooler sand produces males. But climate change has little regard for balance. Just a 2 degrees Celsius rise in sand temperature can result in over 90% of hatchlings being female. El Niño events cause rising sea levels and beach erosion, reducing the success of egg incubation. Data collected over 12 years on Santa Cruz shows about 2,800 to 3,100 nests per season. But even under favorable conditions, hatching success rates hover around 72%. Now let's take one step deeper into the early days of evolutionary thought. In the damp canopy of the Scalesia forest, a song rings out, gentle, almost ordinary, yet once responsible for changing the course of scientific history. It is the voice of Darwin's finches, tiny birds that carry within them the most vivid evidence of evolution. The diversity in the shape of their beaks, first observed by Charles Darwin nearly 2 centuries ago, opened the door to the concept of natural selection. And even today, they continue to evolve. Every beak, every behavior, a story still unfolding. On Santa Cruz Island, the sharp contrast in vegetation between the moist highlands and dry lowlands has created a patchwork of ecological niches, forcing finch populations to adapt in order to survive. Seed eaters of all sizes, insect feeders, each species has carved out its space, minimizing competition and sustaining life by sharing resources. Ground finches have large, short, thick beaks, perfect for cracking hard seeds during the harsh dry season. In contrast, tree finches bear longer, finer beaks, biological tweezers that let them extract insects from leaf crevices and twig joints. One especially unique species is the woodpecker finch. Its beak isn't long enough to pull grubs from deep inside tree bark, so it has learned to use twigs as tools to extend its reach. That beak sparked questions among biologists, not just about shape, but about the very nature of evolution. Over more than 30 years of research, scientists have tracked how beak traits shift across generations. Recent studies published in 2024 reveal that just 6 genomic regions account for more than 45% of the variation in beak size among Darwin's finches. Among these is a supergene containing at least 4 genes that respond strongly to environmental changes. This adaptability is powerful, but not unbreakable. In recent years, Darwin's finches on Santa Cruz have faced a new threat: the parasitic avian vampire fly. This invasive species lays eggs in finch nests, and when the larvae hatch, they begin feeding on the blood and tissues of the chicks. In affected nests, mortality rates can reach up to 95%, especially among rare species like the mangrove finch and medium tree finch. The loss happens silently in the darkness of the leaf nest, driving populations into steep decline with little chance to recover. Yet in the midst of constant challenges, Darwin's finches continue to thrive, building nests and raising new generations. Santa Cruz is where time and natural selection collide, a true living laboratory of evolution. But this island is not the only place where the evolution of these finches has astonished scientists. What's truly remarkable lies just ahead. Now let's move from the heart of the archipelago to its most remote, isolated outposts. Wolf and Darwin are 2 small volcanic islands located at the northernmost edge of the Galápagos, about 40 kilometers apart and roughly 160 kilometers north of Santa Cruz Island. With an area of only about 1 to 2 square kilometers and elevations below 260 meters, both islands have steep, arid terrain with no source of fresh water. The terrestrial ecosystem here is simple, composed mainly of scattered drought-tolerant shrubs rooted in poorly weathered volcanic rock. Because the islands are not tall enough to generate misty rain, there's no distinct vegetation layering by elevation. Plant life depends entirely on seasonal atmospheric moisture. Despite the stark and barren landscape, the surrounding waters host one of the richest marine ecosystems in the entire Galapagos, with some of the highest recorded levels of marine biomass. Though Darwin Island bears the name of the famed naturalist, Charles Darwin himself never set foot on it. Yet this island powerfully embodies the very principles of natural selection that he once described. On the rugged cliffs of Wolf Island, meet the largest, and perhaps the most unforgiving, member of the booby family, the Nazca booby. With striking white plumage and stark black wings and tail, the Nazca booby makes a bold impression from the very first glance. These birds don't choose gentle places to nest. Instead, they cling to uneven rock surfaces or sun-blasted ledges exposed to wind and ocean glare. Here, each Nazca booby marks its nesting territory with a curious symbol, a ring of white guano, a personal signature in a harshly ordered world. Once thought to be a subspecies of the masked booby, the Nazca booby was confirmed as a distinct evolutionary branch through DNA analysis in the early 21st century. This separation likely began 400,000 to 500,000 years ago, when ancestral boobies migrated across the eastern Pacific and formed isolated populations. Today, the Nazca booby's primary range is within the Galápagos Islands, with around 20,000 breeding pairs, especially on islands like Española, Genovesa, Floriana, and most notably, Wolf and Darwin. Recently, solitary individuals have even been spotted as far away as the Gulf of Mexico in mid-2024. Now comes the most intense part, a breeding strategy both resilient and ruthless. The Nazca booby lays 2 eggs, but almost always only 1 chick survives. The first chick hatches after about 40 days of incubation. The second arrives a few days later, just enough time to create a crucial gap in strength. Once the first chick is strong and bonded with its parents, it immediately reacts to the presence of a competitor, its own sibling, by pushing it out of the nest. A gentle nudge of the wing or a sharp peck is often enough to send the second chick rolling out of the guano ring. Without shelter, the younger sibling dies quietly, of hunger, exposure, or predation. The parents do not intervene. This behavior is called obligate siblicide. Strangely, unlike in blue-footed boobies, where such behavior is optional and usually triggered by food shortages, siblicide in Nazca boobies happens regardless of food abundance. Even when fish swarm the turquoise waters around the islands, the stronger chick still removes its sibling as part of an unshakable evolutionary strategy. Scientists believe the second egg acts as a form of biological insurance. Egg failure is relatively common in this species, so laying 2 increases the odds that at least 1 chick will survive. But if both hatch, instinct chooses the stronger. This isn't just instinctual, it's also hormonal. The first chick shows elevated testosterone levels, fueling dominant behaviors from the very start. Meanwhile, the second chick experiences a spike in corticosterone, a hormone tied to extreme stress, which often leads to a silent death. There's even evidence that chicks who survive this ordeal grow up more aggressive. Early trauma seems to plant the seeds of a future cycle of violence. It is here, too, that a rare and troubling behavior has been documented. Visits by adult birds that are not the parents, known as non-parental adult visitors. At first, they appear to merely observe the nest, but over time, they become a threat to unguarded chicks. This has led to a theory that early harassment may foster long-term violent tendencies, a negative social loop repeating across generations. The Nazca booby is not just a symbol of survival through conflict, it is also a master predator of the sea. They dive like arrows through the surface to catch fish, and yet they are vulnerable to a far smaller and far more brutal foe, the vampire finch. The vampire finch is by far the most bizarre member of the Darwin's finches, a tiny bird with fewer than 1,000 individuals alive today. When the dry season tightens its grip and seeds and insects disappear, these birds turn to a chilling but effective solution, drinking the blood of seabirds to survive. Their adaptability is remarkable. The vampire finch is part blood feeder, part omnivore, following the island's natural rhythm, favoring blood in the dry season and traditional foods in the wet. They never leave the island. As year-round residents, they are fully adapted to extreme conditions. So if you had to choose, would you live like the vampire finch or like the rest of Darwin's finches? Let us know in the comments below. Though dozens of remarkable endemic bird species call these islands home, Darwin and Wolfe Islands are strictly off-limits for landing. Visitors can observe seabirds from boats or while diving and snorkeling near the shore. And once you slip beneath the clear blue waters, a world just as vivid and dazzling as the bird life above unfolds before your eyes. In the shimmering waters around Wolfe and Darwin Islands, the Moorish idol appears like a strange, floating puzzle piece of the reef. Its long, ribbon-like dorsal fin and striking, contrasting colors look almost painted. This graceful fish has a delicate, elongated body measuring 15 to 23 centimeters, with a long snout and a slender trailing fin. Its elongated snout, lined with tiny brush-like teeth, lets it reach into crevices and coral cracks to feed. Though not the most common species in the Galapagos, the presence of the Moorish idol, especially in the reef-rich waters around rocky outcrops, reflects its resilience in a competitive and ever-changing environment. Beyond their beauty, Moorish idols help clean rock surfaces and support coral reef renewal, making them one of the most sought-after reef fish for divers exploring the Galapagos. The surgeonfish. With a slender frame and scalpel-sharp spines at the base of its tail, this species serves as both reef janitor and self-defending warrior, a living symbol of balance within the marine ecosystem of the Galapagos. On each side of its tail base, the surgeonfish carries razor-sharp, bony spines, scalpel-like weapons ready to strike when threatened. These spines are bordered by bright markings that serve as clear warning signals, but the species' true tool is its set of stiff, brush-like teeth, perfectly adapted for scraping stubborn algae off reef rocks. With a flat, disc-shaped body, the surgeonfish slips effortlessly through narrow reef crevices, cleaning bit by bit and helping prevent thick algae from choking the coral. But the Galapagos Marine Reserve isn't just home to colorful schools of small fish. Get ready to come face to face with the ocean's giant hunters. Located right on the equator, the Galapagos Marine Reserve is the meeting point of four major ocean currents: the cold Humboldt Current from the south, the warm Panama Current from the north, the upwelling Cromwell Current from the ocean floor to the west, and the South Equatorial Current sweeping straight across. The nitrate-rich waters from the Humboldt and Cromwell currents fuel explosions of phytoplankton, which in turn attract zooplankton, then fish, sea lions, seabirds, and sharks. As a result, the Galapagos hosts one of the largest fish biomasses on Earth, with areas around Wolf and Darwin Islands alone recording 17.5 tons of sharks per hectare, the highest density ever documented. Spanning more than 133,000 square kilometers, this is one of the most strictly protected marine reserves in the world. Beneath the surface lies a rich biological maze: coral reefs, towering rock walls, mangrove forests, sandy seafloors, and underwater mountains, each one a distinct micro-ecosystem shaped by its own combination of light, pressure, and temperature. The Galapagos Marine Reserve is home to more than 2,900 marine species, around 20% of which are found nowhere else on Earth. If you had the chance to dive in the Galapagos, which species would you hope to meet first? First, meet the scalloped hammerhead shark, an apex predator with extraordinary vision. With its eyes positioned at the far ends of its hammer-shaped head, this shark enjoys an almost panoramic field of view, able to monitor what's above, below, and on both sides simultaneously. That wide, flattened surface is also packed with thousands of electroreceptors known as ampullae of Lorenzini. Like a living radar, this system allows the shark to detect faint electric fields given off by prey hiding beneath the sand, especially stingrays, one of its favorite bottom-dwelling targets. As it closes in, the hammer-shaped head acts like a hydrodynamic wing, helping the shark pivot sharply and pin stingrays against the sea floor, neutralizing their venomous spines before delivering a lethal bite. Living in the nutrient-rich waters where three major ocean currents meet, the scalloped hammerhead shark takes full advantage of the cold upwellings and biological richness of the Galapagos Marine Reserve. They gather in greatest numbers around Darwin and Wolf Islands, home to the highest recorded biomass of sharks in any marine ecosystem on Earth. During the day, these sharks rise closer to the surface, forming large social groups, a behavior believed to support communication, mating, and protection from larger predators. Some females will leave Galapagos entirely, traveling as far as Cocos Island or the Ecuadorian coast to give birth before returning to the safety of these waters when breeding season ends. But their tendency to school in large numbers is also a dangerous vulnerability. When fishing vessels arrive, entire groups can be wiped out with a single net. Scalloped hammerhead fins are highly prized, especially in Asian markets where shark fin soup remains a symbol of status. In just 50 years, their global population has declined by over 80%, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature continues to list them as critically endangered. Though the Galápagos Marine Reserve is among the strictest protected zones in the world, the shark's migratory routes often extend far beyond its boundaries. Perhaps this is why their diet is so diverse. They hunt herring, sardines, mackerel, squid, octopus, even smaller sharks. But the real challenge comes when facing stingrays, creatures armed with rows of deadly venomous barbs. For most predators, it's a dangerous gamble. For the hammerhead, it's a calculated duel. Approaching from above, it presses down with its hammer-shaped head, pinning the prey to the sand. While the ray struggles beneath the weight, a precise bite from below, targeting the unarmored belly, ends the battle in a flash. Even more impressive, hammerheads don't always hunt alone. They've been observed working together, something rare among sharks, coordinating their movements, covering different angles, and trapping their prey with no way out. Even the giant manta ray, the largest ray on Earth, has been seen fleeing in panic as a pack of hammerheads slices through the depths like scythes from the shadows. With a wingspan of up to 7 meters and weighing over 2,000 kilograms, the manta ray swims by, rhythmically flapping its massive pectoral fins, like a pair of giant wings gliding through the sea. This ocean giant doesn't chase prey, but feeds gently, filtering plankton by opening its 2 funnel-shaped cephalic lobes and channeling rich water into its mouth, where gill rakers trap the tiny organisms. Despite its enormous size, the manta is known for its remarkable intelligence. It has the highest brain-to-body ratio of any fish species, showing signs of self-awareness, memory, and social interaction. Research from the field of marine cognitive biology has even suggested that mantas may recognize themselves in mirrors, a behavior previously seen in only a few primates. Sometimes they leap from the water, twist in midair, and crash back down with a powerful splash, a mysterious behavior thought to be linked to mating, communication, or perhaps simply play. Their notable curiosity and gentle reactions to divers further support the idea that these animals possess exceptional cognitive abilities. Do you think manta rays are as intelligent as dolphins? Within the 133,000 square kilometer Galápagos Marine Reserve, strict protection has allowed many manta rays to live out their natural life cycles. However, since they often migrate beyond protected waters, meaningful conservation must extend across international borders through global marine corridors designed to safeguard one of the most intelligent and graceful creatures in the ocean. Beneath the deep waters off Wolf Island, a Galápagos shark, measuring 3.7 meters long and weighing nearly 200 kilograms, glides silently by. Despite bearing the name of the archipelago, this species is not endemic to the Galápagos, but has established a long-term presence here. With its tall dorsal fin, thick body, and precise bite, it ranks among the top predators near the reef, right where the continental shelf plunges into the open ocean. Far from the coastal reefs, where light begins to fade and the deep sea swallows all motion, the tiger shark emerges, like a primeval machine built for the hunt. Nearly 5 meters long and weighing over 600 kilograms, its body is marked with faint stripes like slashes on cold steel. It doesn't swim, it glides through the water, slow, deliberate, and commanding. Within the Galápagos Marine Reserve, this predator has no need to hide. It knows few creatures can stand in its way. Short, twisting lunges, sharp tail snaps, and jaws lined with saw-like teeth. Every movement is designed for a single, lethal strike. Data from the 2024 International Shark Attack File ranks this species as the second most involved in attacks on humans. 138 incidents, including 39 fatalities. Its ability to approach silently from the seafloor, then strike upward in a vertical burst, means victims often have no idea until it's too late. There's no clear pattern, no warning. Tiger sharks hunt by probability, opportunity, and a boldness rarely seen among sharks. They rely on night vision, electrosensory detection, and stealth to deliver surprise bites. At times, they appear near shore under cover of darkness, gliding low over sandy bottoms or reef edges, where sea turtles dig nests or rays rest. And in just a few seconds, one bite can end a prey's final chance to resist. Back at the coral reefs surrounding Wolf Island, a silent shadow slips from its hiding place. White-tip reef shark, its pale dorsal fin flashing briefly through the water. No sound, no hesitation, it glides through narrow rock crevices, hunting with the cold precision of a true nighttime predator. The white-tip reef shark is an ancient species, with an evolutionary history that stretches back more than 40 million years. This makes it a seasoned specialist in environments that many other sharks struggle to navigate. Its slender, ribbon-like body, reaching a maximum length of about 1.6 meters, lets it weave effortlessly through cracks and crevices in the reef. It doesn't rely on speed or brute force bites. Instead, it hunts with patience, spatial awareness, and perfect timing, snatching small fish, octopuses, or crustaceans hidden deep within the reef. Unlike many sharks that must swim constantly to push water over their gills, the white-tip reef shark can rest motionless by actively pumping water through its gill system. This allows it to lie still on sandy bottoms or in reef caves for hours at a time, conserving energy throughout the day. At night, it awakens and begins its silent patrol, scanning every crevice like a biological sonar in search of sleeping or hiding prey. Yet despite its skill as a predator, this shark isn't fearsome. Unlike many territorial shark species, the white-tip reef shark is sociable, often seen resting in large groups, stacked atop one another in reef caves around the Galápagos. There's no aggression, no competition. They share their resting space peacefully. That calm nature extends to their relationship with humans. Though they are hunters, white-tip reef sharks rarely display aggression. They often approach divers out of curiosity, creating safe, close-up encounters that make them one of the most popular shark species among visitors exploring the waters of Galápagos. In the heart of the Galápagos Ocean, sunlight pours through the turquoise water, reaching nearly to the seafloor. Suddenly, the surface parts. A flash of silver launches skyward and spins. 1, 2, 3 rotations, like living propellers twirling through the air. Dozens of spinner dolphins leap in succession, declaring with every turn, "This ocean is the stage for gravity-defying dancers." Recent studies from the Galápagos Institute of Marine Science reveal that the spinner dolphin's acrobatic spins serve multiple purposes, from communication between individuals and parasite removal to pure, intelligent play. This complex behavior is closely tied to their strong social structure. Pods can number in the hundreds, hunting together, protecting young, and moving in perfect synchrony like a single, unified body. Spinner dolphins are a smaller dolphin species, measuring between 1.3 and 2.4 meters long and weighing around 23 to 79 kilograms. With a slender frame, pointed snout, dark gray back, soft white-pink belly, and a bold black stripe running from eye to fin, they are agile in the water and easily recognized from afar. That elegant appearance is only amplified when they leap and spin, living whirlwinds against the ocean sky. They are nocturnal hunters. During the day, individuals rest in warm, shallow waters near islands like Floriana or Isabella. At night, they head into deeper waters where small fish, squid, and crustaceans rise in vertical migrations. Their hunting skills rely on echolocation and group coordination, using a complex system of clicks, whistles, and ultrasonic signals to track and capture prey. As the spinner dolphin twirls and leaps under the sun-drenched shallows, just a few dozen meters away, where the coral reef drops into the deep blue, the whale shark glides by like a colossal shadow. Without any need for stealth, it sweeps past the reef's edge like a living tide, engulfing the sea's plankton in every mighty stroke. The whale shark is the largest fish still in existence on Earth. Considered a living legacy of the ocean, this species has an evolutionary history stretching back more than 60 million years and belongs to the most ancient surviving lineage of sharks. An adult individual can reach about 18 meters in length, with unofficial records suggesting it can grow beyond 20 meters, comparable to a long-distance bus. Their weight can exceed 21 tons. Despite their massive build and a mouth that spans up to 1.5 meters wide, they follow a filter-feeding lifestyle. A whale shark swims forward with its mouth open, drawing in hundreds of thousands of liters of water, teeming with phytoplankton, zooplankton, fish eggs, tiny crustaceans, and small fish. The water is then expelled through filter pads in their gills, leaving behind the nutritious particles. They are capable of diving deeper than 1,000 meters, but typically forage near the surface, especially around the waters of Darwin and Wolf Island, where the Cromwell Current rises and delivers a generous stream of food. Each whale shark has its own unique fingerprint, a pattern of hundreds of pale spots and stripes arranged like a checkerboard on deep gray skin, allowing scientists to identify and track individuals for long-term studies. From 2023 to 2025, the Galápagos Whale Shark Project used photographs and artificial intelligence to identify more than 150 distinct individuals in the waters surrounding the Galápagos. More than 70% of these were mature females, an unusual finding compared to other regions like the Philippines or Mexico. More than just giants, whale sharks are also known for their gentle nature. They show no fear of humans and have even been observed approaching groups of divers without any defensive behavior. This calm demeanor has made swimming with whale sharks a highlight of ecotourism in many coastal regions worldwide. However, the Galápagos Marine Reserve does not allow direct encounters with this species, ensuring that individuals foraging or reproducing are not placed under biological stress. Thanks to the strict protection of the marine reserve, whale sharks continue to complete their migration and reproductive cycles. Satellite tracking surveys from 2024 revealed that some individuals embarked on migration journeys of over 7,000 kilometers from the Galápagos to waters off the coast of Costa Rica and even further into the western Pacific Ocean. This confirms the Galápagos as a vital ecological crossroads in the global migratory network of this species. From the vibrant waters of the Galápagos, the journey continues to Fernandina and Isabella Islands, where life comes face to face with fire and stone. These are the two westernmost islands of the Galápagos, where young volcanoes and arid climate combine to shape an ecosystem that is both rugged and pristine. Isabella Island, with its distinct seahorse shape, is the largest island in the Galápagos, covering 4,588 square kilometers. It also holds the archipelago's most diverse habitats, including 5 volcanoes that are still active. Fernandina Island is the youngest and most untouched island, uninhabited by people, minimally impacted by invasive species, and regarded as one of the most volcanically active islands on the planet. As if emerging from the ashes of Fernandina, the flightless cormorant is an extraordinary outcome of evolution. With stunted wings and charcoal gray feathers like cooled volcanic rock, this bird has traded the skies for the sea, becoming a silent diver of the Galápagos, where survival depends not on soaring high, but on ultimate adaptation. The flightless cormorant is the only species in the entire cormorant family worldwide that has completely lost the ability to fly. With wings just 1/3 the size needed for flight, an outcome linked to a mutation in the CUX1 gene, it cannot lift off from the ground. But in return, it has evolved a strong, compact body, large webbed feet, and remarkable diving skills. In the cold waters of the Humboldt Current, where rocky reefs are blanketed with algae, it hunts by propelling itself with its feet, stretching its neck forward, and keeping a sharp eye on the darting movements of small fish, eels, or octopuses. Its feathers do not remain fully dry, but instead absorb water in a controlled way, reducing buoyancy and making deep diving easier. After each hunt, it stands motionless for hours, wings outstretched, not only to dry off, but also to regulate its body temperature. These birds do not roam far, usually foraging within just 200 meters of their nest, and remain closely tied for life to a stretch of rocky shoreline. There they breed, build nests from seaweed, perform zigzag courtship dances underwater, and take turns incubating their eggs. A typical nest may contain 2 to 3 eggs, but usually only one chick survives to adulthood due to limited food and intense environmental pressure. Notably, females may leave the nest first to mate with another male if food conditions are favorable, while the original male stays behind to care for the chick, a rare example of role-based parenting among seabirds. Every animal species in the Galápagos stands apart as the most unique of its kind. If the flightless cormorant has given up the skies to live beneath the waves, then the penguin, typically a creature of the coldest regions, has chosen to survive right along the equator. As the only penguin species that lives and breeds in the tropics, the Galápagos penguin depends entirely on the Humboldt and Cromwell currents. Unusually cold ocean flows that bring life into these sun-drenched seas. They often lean forward to keep their feet from getting sunburned, spread their flipper-like wings to release heat from thin-skinned areas, and when it gets too hot, they pant, much like a dog, to cool themselves down. During the day, they retreat into rocky crevices and lava holes to escape the intense sun. Small in size, standing about 53 centimeters tall and weighing between 1.7 and 2.6 kilograms, this bird is well adapted to tropical heat, shedding warmth through the bare skin around its eyes and beak. Galapagos penguins do not breed on a fixed seasonal schedule, but instead follow opportunity. When cold currents deliver an abundance of fish, they may reproduce up to twice a year. They nest in rock caves to shield eggs from the sun and from predators. Chicks leave the nest after about 60 days, but remain dependent on their parents for the first 3 to 6 months of life. Underwater, this penguin is a skilled hunter, often cooperating in small groups to forage near the shore, usually just a few kilometers from their nests. Both along the coast and beneath the waters of Isabella, one might also encounter a creature just as remarkable as a penguin in the tropics, the Galapagos sea lion. In the crystal-clear waters off the western shores of Isabella and Fernandina, the Galapagos sea lion, the only sea lion species native to the Galápagos Islands, glides with graceful ease. Males can grow up to 2 meters in length and weigh over 300 kilograms, while females are much smaller, measuring around 1.5 meters and weighing less than 100 kilograms. They're known for their curious, sociable nature, often swimming playfully past visitors, tugging at flippers, or flipping through the waves as if inviting you to join a game in the endless ocean. Behind that friendly demeanor lies a strict social structure. During the breeding season, which lasts from May to January, dominant males claim territories along the coast and guard a harem of 5 to 25 females, holding their ground even through hunger. Males that aren't strong enough to compete form bachelor clubs, waiting for their chance to replace a dominant rival. Between mother and pup, a unique vocal bond forms from the very first call. When the mother returns from hunting, even among dozens of pups on the shore, they can recognize each other. While the mother is away, pups gather in small groups, like a natural daycare, where they play and learn how to swim. As agile predators, Galapagos sea lions mainly feed on sardines, anchovies, squid, and octopus, and can dive as deep as 100 meters. They often hunt in coordinated groups, and in some cases have been observed herding large schools of fish such as tuna toward rocky shorelines to trap them more easily. However, climate change and the El Niño phenomenon have placed significant stress on this species. In 1982, 1983, and again in 1997 and 1998, warmer waters disrupted the cold currents, causing fish to vanish or move far from the islands. As a result, pup survival rates in some areas dropped to 0. A study on Santa Fe Island recorded just 19 out of 140 pups surviving their first year. On top of that, introduced animals such as dogs, cats, and rats, as well as infectious diseases like canine distemper and eye parasites, have further increased mortality rates, especially among the young. The Galapagos sea lion population is estimated to include between 9,200 and 10,600 adults, with about 20,000 individuals total, including pups. Most are concentrated around Isabella and Fernandina, areas less impacted by human activity, but more vulnerable when El Niño returns. Right alongside the powerful sea lions riding the blue waves, the Galapagos fur seal, the only species of fur seal endemic to the equator, quietly tucks itself among moss-covered rocks. Much smaller than the sea lion, males weigh only around 64 kilograms and females weigh less than 30 kilograms. But it's precisely this petite build that holds the key to their survival, helping them cope with the intense equatorial heat. Primarily active at night, The Galapagos fur seal dives as deep as 50 meters to hunt for fish, squid, and octopus, species that drift toward the surface after dark. They hunt only in the waters around their colony, never migrating far, showcasing a tight adaptation to the rhythms of moonlight and the nighttime sea. By day, they seek shelter from the sun in rocky caves, lava crevices, or shaded areas, where they can spend up to 70% of their time resting. When temperatures rise too high, they regulate their body heat by adjusting blood flow through their flippers, a remarkably fine-tuned physiological adaptation. One of the most distinctive traits of this species is its extended pup-rearing period, the longest among all seal species, lasting from 1 to 3 years, and sometimes even longer when food is scarce. If a mother gives birth to a second pup while still raising the first, intense sibling competition arises, and studies show that up to 80% of second-born pups do not survive when resources are limited. Located on the opposite end of the archipelago, about 200 kilometers from Isabella Island, Genovesa is a young volcanic island covering approximately 14 square kilometers, with a low-lying terrain and a highest elevation of just 64 meters. It sits in the far northeastern corner of the Galapagos and is often referred to as the Bird Island due to its large populations of endemic seabirds. There are many bird species known for their brilliant plumage, but have you ever seen one with bright blue feet? On the arid island of Genovesa in the Galapagos, the blue-footed booby stands out not just for its vividly blue feet that seem to glow under the sun, but also for using those very feet to incubate its eggs, right on bare rock with no nest and no cover. In a world where reproduction often comes with protection, this bird takes minimalism to the extreme, yet it continues to thrive thanks to the very trait that makes it so unique. The striking blue color of its feet doesn't come from natural pigments, but from carotenoids accumulated through a fish-rich diet, mainly sardines, anchovies, and flying fish. It's the color of health, of strong hunting ability, and an effective mating signal. On calm days, when fish gather near shore, males perform a slow-motion courtship dance in front of females, lifting each foot deliberately, as if showing off a treasured gift from the sea. The ones with the brightest blue feet are often chosen, as that brilliant hue is a vivid sign of good physical condition and exceptional hunting skills. Despite their awkward gait on land, blue-footed boobies become master hunters once they take to the sea. From heights of 20 to 24 meters, they tuck in their wings and dive headfirst into the ocean at speeds that can exceed 90 kilometers per hour. With long heads, outstretched necks, and sleek, torpedo-shaped bodies, they pierce the water like arrows in a flash. Unlike many birds, they don't have open nostrils. Instead, they breathe through the corners of their mouths, an evolutionary trait that prevents water from flooding their airways during dives. Some individuals dive as deep as 10 meters, hunting cooperatively in groups to herd fish toward the sunlight. Cold currents like the Humboldt Current carry nutrient-rich fish from South America, filling the seas around Genovesa and sustaining the flocks. Bright red throat pouches swell in the winds of Genovesa, announcing the breeding season of the magnificent frigate bird, a seabird that cannot swim, yet rules the skies with cunning and boldness. The magnificent frigate bird has the highest wingspan to body weight ratio of any bird species on Earth, with wings reaching up to 2.3 meters while weighing only between 1 and 1.5 kilograms. Its body is as light as a breeze, with aerodynamically designed feathers and long pointed wings, creating the perfect build for soaring effortlessly on wind currents. According to satellite tracking data collected by Galapagos Conservancy in 2024, some individuals were recorded flying non-stop for 10 days, covering more than 2,000 kilometers across the eastern Pacific region. But its most visually stunning feature isn't its flight ability. During the breeding season, male magnificent frigate birds inflate their vivid red throat pouch into a balloon-like orb, shimmering in the breeze. They tilt their heads back, puff out the pouch, flutter their wings gently, and emit distinctive calls to attract females soaring above. Behind that dazzling display lies a bold survival strategy. Unlike other seabirds that can dive or swim, the magnificent frigate bird cannot swim at all. Its feathers are not waterproof, making it vulnerable to sinking if it falls into the ocean, forcing it to evolve into a uniquely specialized predator, one that catches prey from the surface or steals it mid-air. It soars high, watching for boobies or tropic birds returning from sea, still holding fish or squid in their beaks. Then, it strikes. A lightning-fast chase. The startled bird drops its catch. In that fleeting moment, the frigate bird flips mid-air and snatches the meal before it touches the waves. This kleptoparasitic behavior helps it conserve energy and avoid the hazards of the sea. But to succeed, it relies on long wings and lightning-fast reflexes. These hunting flights may span hundreds of kilometers around the islands, and while the female cares for her chick for nearly a year, one of the longest parenting periods among seabirds, the male leaves the nest early, beginning a new cycle in the sky-bound life of a survivor. Between the blue-footed booby, red-footed booby, and the magnificent frigate bird, which seabird do you think wears the most striking colors? But within the seemingly timeless wilds of the Galapagos, signs of fracture are beginning to emerge. Isolation, once the very foundation that allowed hundreds of endemic species to evolve, now leaves them more vulnerable than ever. Just one black rat, a herd of feral goats, or a few nests of fire ants can unravel food chains that have remained stable for thousands of years. At the same time, global climate shifts, like the 2023 to 2024 El Niño, have caused sea temperatures to rise abnormally, triggering mass die-offs of algae and a temporary collapse of the marine food web. Seabirds abandon their nests due to a lack of fish. Scalloped hammerhead sharks vanish from their traditional hunting grounds. Coral reefs bleach white, leaving behind haunting stills of a sea slowly running dry. On land, a population surge reaching 30,000 people by 2024 has pushed the demand for land, water, and infrastructure, placing invisible but immense pressure on forests, sea turtle nesting beaches, and the few remaining freshwater streams. Offshore, more than 260 industrial fishing vessels were detected near the edge of the Galapagos Marine Reserve in 2020. Though they hadn't crossed the boundary, a single misstep could turn migratory species like sharks into unintended casualties. Monitoring efforts continue with real-time tracking technology and sea patrols, but staffing and funding remain far too limited for the world's second-largest marine protected area. But the work of conservation continues to move quietly forward like a lifeline pulsing beneath the surface, holding on to the last threads of the Galapagos wild purity. Through a debt-for-nature swap, $656 million have been reinvested into the marine ecosystem, securing long-term funding of up to $12 million per year to protect declining shark, tuna, and coral reef populations. On the islands, invasive species control campaigns are still underway with remarkable precision. Nearly 500 yellowland iguanas have been successfully relocated from North Seymour to Santiago Island. Recovery programs have also brought back more than 130 juvenile Galapagos giant tortoises to Isabella Island, where an entire generation was once nearly lost. And for the first time in over a century, tiny tortoise shells are again moving slowly across the cracked, dry ground of Pinzon Island. At higher elevations, Galapagos petrel nests have reappeared, thanks to the restoration of 180 hectares of nesting forest. Under the cactus canopy of Wolf Volcano, rare pink iguanas are being monitored through more than 2 million camera trap images. And along the edges of wetlands, species like the mangrove finch, once reduced to fewer than 40 individuals, now have 36 successfully reared and released chicks. Protecting the Galapagos is not just the job of scientists or governments, it's an open invitation to all of us. Every small action, cutting back on single-use plastic, supporting eco-friendly travel, sharing science-based knowledge, helps protect this fragile ecosystem. And if you've ever visited the Galapagos to witness the unique seabirds or the jet-black marine iguanas, don't hesitate to share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Your voice could be the spark that fuels conservation efforts, inspires awareness, and preserves these living wonders for generations to come. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to join us on more extraordinary adventures. Or continue exploring the survival journeys of wildlife from other regions in Great Barrier Reef, the last fortress of ocean survival, or deep sea sharks. The deeper you go, the scarier monsters become.